So, mothers and others, we're down to our last candidate of the evening, and you may have heard a lot about this candidate because it is one of Texas's first Gen Z candidates that's running for office, and we're very proud of her. She kind of came out of nowhere and has been doing an amazing job running for office, and we're so proud of all of her work. So, Averie Bishop is a candidate for Texas House District 112, and she is running against Republican incumbent Angie Button. So, welcome, Averie. I'm so glad you're here. The last time I saw you, we were running into each other into the hall at Texas Trip Fest. So, I'm
Yeah,
happy. I'm happy you're here. Can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and why you're running for office?
sure. Well, thanks for having me, Nancy. Hello, mothers and others and Texans that are watching this. Thanks for having me. My name is Averie Bishop. I'm running for Texas House District 112 as the official Democratic nominee. I have no primary challenger. I am a first generation law school graduate. I was the very first Asian American woman to win Miss Texas. So I'm no stranger to shattering glass ceilings, and that's what I'll be doing this year come November. As far as why I'm running for office, in the Constitution, it says, with liberty and justice for all. And we all know that when that sentence was written in the Constitution, it didn't include people like you and me, Nancy. It included very, very small population of people. My mission for this campaign is to win, but it's really to redefine what all truly means here in Texas. Because I was raised to say y'all means all, and that has to include all races, all genders, all ages, all classes, all backgrounds, all immigrant statuses. Because when we include everyone in all collectively in government, then we're all going to be prosperous together. I'm running against Angie Chen Button, who's been in her seat for 16 years. That is a long time to have done nothing incredibly great for lots of minority communities. She received a D from Mothers Against Greg Abbott, and especially a really low grade for public school education. And public school education is one of my three policies that I'm running on and pushing to serve here in the state of Texas. I'm running for office as well because I saw my dad, who is a fifth generation Texan, run for office when I was 15 years old. He wore overalls and he's a school bus driver. He worked two jobs each to make sure there was food on my table. And when I saw my dad run for mayor of McKinney, albeit he lost, I got to see someone in my life who didn't seem like a typical politician run for something and didn't let anybody else tell him that he shouldn't. And I take that with me and take it to heart so that as I'm running for office, my campaign is a symbol for everyone here in the state and across the country to try something that might be really hard and risky, but because the change and the positive impact we will have, it will certainly be worth it at the end.
Well, amen to that. Oh my gosh, your dad. I just,
He's so cute. You should see his yard signs back then. It had a school bus on it. It was adorable.
oh my gosh, that is such a great story. So I love that. So Averie, tell us, what are the three most important issues that you're running on for your district?
There's so many issues that I want to address, especially having been working in Washington, D.C. on the Hill, having majored in human rights and sociology, having studied abroad across the Deep South, in Poland, in the Philippines. There's so many issues that here in Texas we dramatically need change for. But for me, I'm closest to these three issues: public school education, number two, reproductive health care, and number three, common sense gun reform. First, reproductive health care is extremely important, especially here in Texas. I had an honors thesis in undergrad where I fought and advocated for comprehensive sexual education programming for our public schools here in Texas. There is a reason why abstinence only is required to be taught in schools, is because people in power like to inhibit people from getting information and knowledge. Knowledge is power. We have to invest back into our schools and into our future generations to ensure that they understand how to have safe sex and know their options whenever they do get pregnant here in Texas. It's so important that a woman or anybody is allowed to choose when they are emotionally economically, and physically ready to create a family. I personally am 27 years old and I am scared to have children here in Texas. In fact, I've delayed family planning because of the state that we're in. Second, public school education. Public school education is absolutely important for the future Texans here. I am the product of an incredible 12 years of public schooling in Prosper ISD, and my district is comprised of incredible school districts, of which I'm a substitute teacher for. I taught in Richardson ISD, which is in the district, and I quickly learned that a lot of teachers are not paid well enough. They're practically raising our children, and they deserve so much more support. And then finally, common sense gun reform. I always take it back to my why of running for office, and not all of our generations are represented in the decision making room. In fact, the average age of a representative here in Texas is 55 and over. And look, I love my grandpa. He's fantastic. I think everyone deserves to have a seat at the table. But right now, it feels like it's an old gentleman's club, and it's not equally representing everyone in my district. There's over 35,000 women of color in my district waiting to be heard, waiting to be represented, and that's me. So I'm so excited to advocate for common sense gun reform because having been in classrooms for the past 12 years, I know that my generation has traded fire drills for active shooter drills. I know that whenever I walk into a room, I look for the closest door or exit for the fear of someone walking in and possibly committing crime and hateful acts towards us. My generation is so much closer to the problem of guns in schools. And that means we need someone like myself who just finished school, who knows what it's like to sit at those desks and be extremely afraid of what's going to happen next. And those are the three policies I'm advocating for. I'm really excited to say that in addition to these policies and being the Democratic nominee, my way of giving back to all Texans here is that we created a comprehensive fellowship program. It's nationwide, composed of over 110 students and young professionals. Those of which have resumes that put my own resume to shame. But this fellowship program is already off the ground. We have cohort directors. They are going to be mentored and receive advocacy training, block walking, and volunteer organizing opportunities as well. So this fellowship is a way for this legacy of my campaign to live on. We are quite literally training the next generation of Texas political leaders. And I'm just so grateful that Mothers Against Greg Abbott is here to support me along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. I want to hear more about that. So I'll have to call you. For
Absolutely.
sure. I want to have a conversation about it. So thank you. I'll have to reach out. But thank you so much, Avery. I think all of the things that you mentioned are so important. And it is so important to have younger people running for office. I'm Gen X. I think Nathan might be Gen X too. And I think that, I'm kind of sad because I feel like I missed out on running for office because the boomers never quit running for office.
Yeah, you would
It's
think
just,
that collectively we would have just more people across all ages run for
yeah,
office, but
I
I think the primary challenge is that it's so expensive. And so as you get older, you build up that network of great reliable donors. And so younger people just want to pay off their student loans and pay for rent, which I'm also doing, but might as well just
yeah.
try right now.
Yeah, no, it's super important. And whatever we can do to support, here at Mothers Against Greg Abbott and Mothers for Democracy, we just filmed an ad called Gen Z Decides, and it's at genzdecides.com. And we are going to be putting out our ad sometime this spring, and it's on getting out the Gen Z vote. And we're really excited about it. It's really, the website is already up, so you can go take a look at it. genzdecides.com. You all can go take a look, and the website's up, but the ad is coming, and it is as our producer said yesterday, it is very special. These kids are
Oh.
special. The ad is really great. It's uplifting. It's wonderful. I can't wait to roll it out to everyone. So tell us, Avery, where can we find you, and how best can we support you right now?
Where can you find me? Well, I am an influencer and content creator, so you can just find me from a quick Google search. In fact, I think the first video that will come up is probably me eating cantaloupe in the law school library. But you can find me at Averie, Averie, not with the Y, averieforall.com, and also across Instagram and Facebook. The best way to support, aside from block walking this weekend, so many phenomenal candidates are walking. I myself am included. Make sure you go out and support all the other candidates that were on this panel. But again, running a grassroots nonprofit organization like Mothers Against Greg Abbott is expensive. I know from my personal experience directing my own nonprofit. So if you're watching this and you got $5, $10, donate to Mothers Against Greg Abbott, and then find some time to block walk or encourage somebody to make sure that they vote early in the primaries for March.
Yeah, absolutely. You all, $5 really does add up a lot, and all of our candidates tonight could certainly use a donation. So please try to be generous. Remember, it is $5 is less than a cup of Starbucks these days. That is now $6. So you get a lot more for your money, really, in a lot of ways by supporting candidates as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us tonight, Averie. I cannot wait to run into you again and meet you again on the campaign trail.
Thanks for having me.